TT Decantation and Sampling Process. Let us understand the decantation and sampling process. Decanting refers to unloading of the supplies from the invoiced tank lorry to the respective underground product tanks at the retail outlet premises. It has to be done by the franchisee. The franchisee has to carry out the following procedure at the retail outlet before decanting the product. Please note that decantation should not be done in the night. On arrival of the TT, the franchisee or his representative have to collect the invoice and needs to check the following details stated in the invoice. 1. Tank lorry number. 2. Date and time of dispatch of load. 3. Number of compartments and quantity and product contained therein. 4. Reference density at 15 degrees centigrade. 5. Loading temperature, if applicable. 6. Serial number of seals and security locks. Parking and safety. Park the tank lorry at a designated place which is properly leveled. Instruct the tank lorry driver to switch off the tank lorry engine, put off the master cutoff switch, shift the gear to neutral position and pull the handbrake. Secure the tires with wooden wedges to prevent any accidental tank lorry movement while decanting. Check the air pressure of the tires of the tank lorry to ensure that they are not unduly deflated, causing a tilt in the tank lorry towards either front or the rear. Connect the earthing or bonding wire between tank lorry and the underground storage tank in order to avoid any sparking due to static electricity. Remove the fire extinguishers and position them near the valve manifold. During decantation, the sale of the products at the RO is to be stopped till the decantation is completed. Check locks on bottom discharge manifold as well as locks on top manhole covers of each compartment. Check and tally the seal numbers on the seals of the discharge valves and top domes with the numbers mentioned in the invoice. Check if the seals are intact and not broken or manipulated. Release master valve levers to ensure product fills the pipelines, where tank lorries are normally calibrated with lines full, before checking dips. Verify certificate of calibration. Obtain from the tank lorry driver the calibration certificate of the tank lorry. Check the tank lorry certificate of calibration for validity. Check weights and measures marking on the dip rod at the bottom as well as the proof level. Verify the length of the dip rod, proof line and dip line markings using a measuring tape against the readings mentioned in the calibration certificate. Check dips of the product in all compartments with the dip rod duly certified by weights and measures and provided with the tank lorry. Using water finding paste at the bottom of any one dip rod, insert the dip rod through the fill pipe of each compartment one by one. In case the water finding paste turns pink to indicate presence of water in a compartment, apply the paste at the bottom of the dip rod for that compartment for about 4 centimeters and assess the correct water quantity in the compartment by inserting the dip rod into the dip pipe. Remove and discard the water found. Check dips of the product in all compartments with the respective dip rod of the compartment using oil finding paste applied near the dip line of each dip rod and by inserting the dip rod into the dip pipe of each compartment respectively. In the event of dip being shot as per calibration certificate or water being detected with water finding paste, do not open manifold valves. Contact the concerned TSM. In the event of the dip being shot of the dip line on the dip rod or water being detected and in case contact with the supply point or concerned TSM is not possible, following procedure is to be followed. 1. Remove and discard the water found, in case if water is found. 2. The shot quantity should be determined by filling the product into the compartment by dispensing the same through the dispensing pump nozzle. This should be done for all the compartments and the total shot quantity must be recorded on the back of all the invoice copies. In case the retail outlet is dry at the time of receipt, product from one compartment must be used to level the dips of the other compartments. After leveling all compartments, the shortage in the last compartment will be measured using a calibrated measure. The shot quantity thus determined shall be recorded on the back of all copies of the invoice and it should be signed by both franchisee's representative and the tank lorry driver. Having ascertained the quantity of the product by the above method, now we need to check the quality of the products. Draw samples after draining the product from the manifold from each compartment in a clear glass container for visual inspection and density and temperature check. Check the density and temperature of the sample and using a STM tables 53B convert the same to density at 15 degrees centigrade. Compare this density with the density at 15 degrees centigrade recorded on the invoice. If the difference in the two densities is within plus or minus 3.0 kilograms per cubic meter or plus or minus 0.003 grams per milliliters, the product is of acceptable quality. Similarly, draw samples from the top of each compartment and carry out the same procedure and check the density of the product. In case of motor spirit, check quality of product using filter paper Wattman number 2 by taking 2 drops of the product on the paper, checking a stain-free dry paper post evaporation of the drops of product put on the paper. In case of doubt as to the quality of the product, contact the supply point or the concerned TSM for further instructions. Note that filter paper test is not required for HSD. After ascertaining quality and quantity, the franchisee or his representative shall draw bottom samples from the tank lorry as per 3-tier sampling procedure. Ensure that a minimum of 20 liters of product is removed from each chamber before drawing the samples. Draw equal quantity of product from the bottom of each compartment of the tank lorry and mix the same to form a composite sample. If the tank lorry has brought a mixed load of motor spirit and HSD, please note that separate composite samples for motor spirit and HSD need to be prepared. Rinse the aluminum sampling cans with the respective composite samples and discard the rinsed material. Fill 4 nose of 1 liters of aluminum sampling cans in respect of motor spirit and 2 nose of 1 liters for HSD. Seal the can and wooden external box using a serially numbered plastic seal. Paste a label with the details of tank lorry number, invoice number, product name, ampersand serial numbers of the seals used on the box or the can. It has to be signed. Retaining the samples. The franchisee should retain 1 set, that is 2 numbers of 1 liter MS and 1 number of 1 liter HSD sample with him. The franchisee should hand over, against payment, 1 set, that is 2 numbers of 1 liters of MS and 1 liters of HSD to the tank lorry driver or the representative of the transporter for retention by the transporter. In addition, the transporter or his driver will have to pay a deposit of Rs 300 per sample container to the franchisee. The transporter with written mutual consent may leave his sample in safe custody with the franchisee. These samples will be called retained tank lorry samples by franchisee or retained by transporter. The franchisee shall retain the tank lorry sample of the last 2 receipts for each tank of MS and HSD. Where there is more than 1 tank for a product, the tank number in which the product was decanted should be indicated or identified on the tank lorry sample container. Decantation. Before commencing tank lorry decantation operation, the sales through the concerned underground tank should be stopped till completion. Take totalizer readings of all dispensing units connected to the underground tank. Take the dip reading of the underground tank and check if there is sufficient space inside the tank to take the quantity of the product brought by the tank lorry. Take the next step only if sufficient space is available in the tank to accommodate the incoming quantity of product. Ensure to connect the correct compartment of the tank lorry to the correct product tank. Use properly bonded and recommended hose for unloading of the product. On completion of the decanting of the product from one compartment, check the compartment for emptiness from the top of the tank lorry. Change over to the next compartment and start the decanting. Post decantation. Post completion of all compartments and disconnecting the rubber hose pipe, the tank lorry should be moved about within the retail outlet premises and parked on an incline to collect any leftovers in a metal bucket for transfer into the proper product tank. This step may be repeated for ensuring complete removal of leftovers. Ensure that the tank lorry is fully emptied of the product. Determine the stock in the tank as per the dip reading and the tank calibration chart and make entries in the stock register or stock board. Density check post dispensing from nozzle. Collect and check the density of the product after dispensing about 50 liters from each nozzle. Hand over the signed documents to the tank lorry driver mentioning all the details. Hope you understood the decantation and sampling process. Thank you.